Welcome, dear listeners, to the Wordy Tales. Today, we step into a story that speaks to the deepest corners of the human heart, a story about fear, courage, and the shadows we all carry. This is Conquering the Shadows. Imagine a small town, nestled between rolling hills and thick forests. The kind of town where everyone knows everyone, yet secrets still linger in the quiet corners. Our story begins with Ethan, a young man who, like many of us, carries a shadow within him, a fear he cannot name, but one that whispers in the night. Ethan had always been cautious, careful, and aware of the unseen. Even as a child, the dark corners of his room felt alive, as if something unseen was watching, waiting. Friends would laugh and say, "It's just your imagination." But Ethan knew better. He felt it, an unease that wrapped around him like a heavy cloak. One evening, under a sky painted with streaks of deep orange and purple, Ethan decided to confront what had haunted him for years. He could no longer live under the weight of his fear. Not tonight. Tonight, he would step into the forest, the very place where shadows seemed to gather, where whispers echoed between the trees. As he walked along the narrow path, the crunch of fallen leaves beneath his feet was almost deafening in the silence of the forest. Every rustle of branches, every flicker of movement made his heart race. Yet, with each step, a strange sense of determination grew within him. He realized that fear, as powerful as it seemed, only had power over him if he allowed it. Suddenly, the path opened into a small clearing. And there, in the center, he saw a figure. It wasn't a person, at least not entirely. It was a shadow, dark and shifting, almost alive, as though it were a living embodiment of all his fears. Ethan froze. The shadow loomed, stretching taller, darker, whispering his deepest insecurities in a voice only he could hear. "You cannot face me. You will never be strong enough. You will fail." But then Ethan remembered something his grandmother once told him. Courage isn't the absence of fear, Ethan. Courage is facing the fear even when it feels impossible. Taking a deep breath, Ethan stepped forward. The shadow hissed and swirled, trying to push him back. But he pressed on, each step a declaration that he would no longer be ruled by fear. He closed his eyes for a moment and pictured a light, small but unwavering, glowing from within him. That light represented every act of bravery he had ever shown, every time he had stood up for himself or someone else. When he opened his eyes, something remarkable happened. The shadow faltered. The darkness seemed less threatening, less powerful. With each forward step, Ethan felt lighter, as if the weight of years of fear was lifting off his shoulders. "Fear is only a shadow," he whispered aloud. "And shadows disappear in the light." The shadow trembled, then shrank, shrinking further until it finally dissolved completely, leaving only the quiet hum of the forest. Ethan stood in the clearing, chest heaving, yet smiling. He had faced what had haunted him for so long. Not with swords, not with magic, but with courage, persistence, and the unwavering belief that he could overcome. And in that moment, he understood something profound. Fear is not an enemy to be destroyed. It is a teacher, guiding us to the edge of our own strength, asking us to rise above what holds us back. The shadows we carry are only as powerful as the attention we give them. Conquer them with light, with action, with determination, and they lose the grip forever. Ethan walked back to town, the moonlight guiding his path, feeling freer than he had ever felt before. He knew that life would always have its shadows, but now he had learned the secret: shadows only have power if you let them. And from that night forward, Ethan faced life not with fear, but with courage, step by step, shadow by shadow. So, dear listeners, the next time a shadow looms over you, remember Ethan's story. Remember that courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the choice to step forward anyway. And with every brave step, the shadows begin to fade. Thank you for joining us for Conquering the Shadows, a short story on the Wordy Tales. Until next time, keep your light shining, even in the darkest places. Music swells softly and fades out.